Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Back to Me podcast. This is Heather, and this episode is about prioritizing. And there's plenty of courses out there. I remember the first one that I took. I can't even remember what it was called now. It was way back when I lived in Halifax and I was in my corporate job, one of my first management jobs, and they sent me on a course on how to prioritize my time. But you can have lots of ideas on how to prioritize. But today we're going to talk about the things you're prioritizing, and maybe you're picking the wrong things. I hope you enjoy this episode. If you ever wanted to ask me a question or reach out to me, I would love to hear from you. Heather at prosperityflowcoaching.com. And you can always check out the website in the show notes if you wanted to pop over and send me a message from there. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I can't wait to see you soon. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. Hello. I'm just so happy when things are working out. It is Wednesday, and this is Heather from Prosperity Flow Coaching, and this is our Find Your Flow. I was calling it Wellness Wednesday, but I felt like it was an overused cliche. And what I'm always looking for is to help you find your flow. So welcome to this week. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late starting. I probably no big surprise, was having some technical difficulties. A lot of people that I've been talking to in the last week have been having some pretty crazy technical difficulties that just seem inexplicable. So no worries. We'll just figure it out. Finding your flow is just figuring out how to keep going forward, even when things aren't working perfectly, right? And I feel like we've had a lot of practice with that lately. So I'm Heather, and this is Prosperity Flow Coaching, Finding Your Flow Wednesdays. And last week was overwhelmed, wasn't it? It was a great topic. I must have been feeling overwhelmed. This week, we're going to talk about one of the ways actually to deal with overwhelm is to rearrange your priorities. So when you're feeling like everything's going crazy, rearranging your priorities, taking a moment to rearrange priorities so that you can kind of come back into some kind of balance. Balance looks different for everyone. So when you get that point where your priorities are kind of back into track with what you want to get done, then life flows. Finding your flow flows a little easier. Yeah, love that. Love how everything kind of fits together. So I know for myself and my husband will tell you this, he can tell when I'm starting to get so that things are becoming a little too crazy. Things are not going well, and I'm juggling too many things. And one of the reasons that happens is because I'm putting priorities on things that maybe I shouldn't be. Not that they aren't important, but ranking priorities. So, let's say I have this intention. I've put on my to-do list that I'm going to send out a newsletter every week at this time, at this day, and without fail. And it is good to be, to hold myself accountable to that goal that I wanted to put out my emails every week. But what if that priority is not actually helping to move me towards something specific? What if it's just something that I've just decided, I've declared I'm going to do an email every single week, and it's not serving the people that I'm trying to serve? It's causing me stress. So is that really a priority? Does that help move maybe it's a business goal. Maybe I'm doing an email every week so that I can keep touch points with my clients and keep in contact and let people know what I'm thinking about and how I can help them and keep me top of mind. But is that the best way? Is that the best way to keep myself top of mind with those people? And is that the best use of my time? So maybe I've made that priority too big and put too much pressure on myself to have that priority. So that's kind of one of the ways sometimes I think we put these tasks on our list. We create these ideas that we need to do. Well, we create these ideas we need to do everything, don't we? I know I do. Shouldn't answer for you. I know I do. I'm going to do X, 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 X. But taking that time to unplug from that, I must do, and having that pause to say, with each task, what is the purpose of this task? Will it move me towards something I'm moving towards? Can someone else do it? That's a fabulous question. And being willing to let someone else do it. I remember when I first started managing, because when you move from an employee, a doer, to a manager, that's a leap. That's a change in approach to a job. That's instead of you doing everything, it's you managing people doing things. And sometimes that's a hard mind shift especially if you're used to being the doer. And I can remember early in my management career, I can't actually remember who said it to me. Maybe I read it in a book. Was let your staff or whoever it is, maybe it's people you've hired, allow them to help you. I mean, sometimes we have trouble with that acceptance. Allow them to learn new things themselves. Like if you do everything yourself, you're stopping those people from learning. So allow them to learn and to figure it out, and don't jump in and do it for them. Allow them to find their way. It's like teaching kids, right? You have to let them fall down while they're learning to walk. So lifting them back or letting them find their way. So when you're managing, even if it's just managing your to-do list, I mean, is there someone else who can do it? And allow them to help you. Accept that help, and allow that to happen to free up your time and energy for the things that have more priority in your life. And that will help you get to your goal. And you can have, there's personal goals, health, maybe fitness, wellness, financial goals, career goals. There's all of those goals, and they're all going to have their own priorities. Maybe you even have to prioritize those. I mean, I highly recommending your personal health and wellness first. I was having a conversation. I might have mentioned this actually, because I feel like I've said this before, but stop me if I've said this. No, I'm kidding. This story of the jar with the rocks. And maybe you don't know that story. I shouldn't assume you know that story. But a professor, this is it could be an urban myth at this point. A professor brings a jar in and he fills it with these big rocks. And he says, is the jar full? And the students say yes. So then he puts in some little rocks and he shakes them down in between the big rocks. And he says, is it full now? And they say, yes, it's definitely full now. Then he pours in sand and he kind of shakes it down in. And he said, what about now? Is it full now? Oh, yes, now it's definitely full. And then he pours in water and there's still room. But the point of the story is the big rocks have to go in first. If you filled it and then tried to if you filled it with even sand and tried to add things in, they wouldn't fit. And the big rocks are your bigger priorities of your life. And I think that your health should be your biggest priority. Making sure, and it's not selfish, to ensure that you are happy and that you are healthy, because that allows you to go out and take care of others and to be the best in the world. I mean, to be your best in the world. Be the best at being you in the world. I know when I'm tired, I don't operate as well. It takes more effort and more energy. So taking care of yourself so you can be your best self in the world. And how do we do that? There's many ways to achieve being your best self, right? The first step is to recognize that you need to take some steps towards that. I have a program launching in January. It was going to launch in the fall, but I decided there was still too much going on in my own life. Had too many balls juggling, so I shifted that, and I'm launching it in January. And it's called Back to Me, and not in a selfish way, not in the back to me like sarcastic way. It's in the taking care of myself back to me so that I can move forward. It's going to be 6 weeks. It's going to be amazing. Only 10 ladies. So hopefully the ladies who are signed up waiting for the doors to open, don't worry, I got you. We're good. I'm going to post a link in a little bit for the early opt-in. So you can just get on the list so you can get updates on where we're going. 6 weeks to create your own self-care plan. Join in community. Part of self-care is, finding like-minded soul tribe people together to help you. So we're going to open the doors probably in a few months, but I'll give you some updates. I haven't picked my date yet. I know I'm waffling, sorry. But it's picking your priorities and fitting the big rocks into your jar. We're going to spend 6 weeks fitting in the big rocks, and then fitting in the other rocks, and then fitting in the pebbles and the sand and the water, so that you can still do everything you want to do. How amazing would that be, right? And then next week, I know I try to keep these short, so I'm just checking my list. Next week, we're going to talk about gratitude. Why gratitude is golden, why gratitude is a magic spell, and how it can change your life. And thank you so much, by the way, for joining me. If you have questions, just pop them in the chat box. I can get back to you right away. If you ever have a topic that you think would be interesting, send me a message, send me a DM, send me an email, just send a comment in the comment box would be amazing. I hope that you find your flow today and that you have an amazing day. Take care, and I will see you soon. Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Just give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help, and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.